What's up, everybody? Welcome into MLB DFS Live for Friday, May 7th. I'm your host, Ben Hosser. I'm joined by Justin Bales, and we got a special guest today, our boy Sean from Discord. He's been one of our subscribers for a long time. Sean's a grinder. I know you play like every sport, don't you? I see you in the esports streets. You play everything, huh?
Yeah, League of Legends. Golf is my jam right now. It grinded the NBA season. This has been a tough season, but getting into the MLB season, and yeah, pretty much just grinding every sport with the exception of hockey.
Yeah, hockey I like. It's similar to baseball, but that's normally when NBA is going on, so it's tough for me to really
Yeah,
to really grind it.
three sports right before lock is a little bit too much for me to handle.
Yeah, I see Rube in the chat here. Rube, we were just talking about you guys arguing Russell Westbrook for like the last 2 days, so that's fitting.
Don't get him. Our whole chat is
It's
just going to
gonna
be
be
Rube
Russell
about
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook, and we're not going to be able to answer any questions.
All right. Yeah, speaking of questions, if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. We'll answer them as we go on. We got a huge slate today, 14 games. Weather-wise, it looks like the Boston game, Red Sox Orioles maybe. Also Minnesota Detroit. It looks like that rain's going to be gone by the time the game starts, which I'm really hoping. We'll talk about that game, but I really like obviously the Minnesota side of that one. So we'll start off with pitchers here, then stacks, and then we'll quickly go through some plays we like at each position. Starting at pitcher, Bales, I haven't talked to you about this slate at all today, so I don't know where you're going. I think the chalk is going to be Jack Flaherty and Trevor Rogers, and that's good chalk, I feel like. I don't worry as much about ownership at pitcher. I think both those guys are in really good spots. They have strikeout upside, so I'm fine with them. Do you like anyone at the top other than them? Like, I think Rodon is someone that's going to go under owned, so maybe in tournaments you could look at him.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the chalk is going to be Flaherty Rogers too. I think that Rodon's completely fine. I would probably just pay the extra 200 to play Blake Snell. I don't know. Outside of that, I think if we're dropping down a bit, Zach Gallen makes a really good play. New York kind of can't touch literally anything. So I have no issues whatsoever. I actually think that Zach Gallen is legitimately like one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball right now. It just feels like he doesn't really get any respect. And then I feel like you're probably dropping down a little bit more with like, I don't know, the next guy that I would probably consider would be like Peterson, maybe Morton. So just from the top, I think anyone above Trevor Rogers, I think that you're basically playing him and Flaherty in cash, and then Rodon, Snell, or Zach Gallen all make really good tournament options.
Yeah, Snell. I'm not on Snell today, really. I don't know. He just hasn't looked great in San Diego to me. I think his high in points has been like 22, and that's just not getting it done for me at 10-4. So I like Rodon a little bit more than him if you're going to spend up. Sean, who do you like at the top here? Are you riding the chalk with Flaherty Rogers, or is there someone else that you like
Yeah,
better?
so I have three guys that I kind of am aiming for cash games. Obviously, you guys touched on Flaherty and Rogers, but I've been attacking the Brewers and the Tigers bats all season for cash. And I mean, Shoemaker is not good, but it's a bad Tigers team. Although I will say that their bats have come alive the last couple games. I don't know. I feel like Shoemaker could be a little bit of a pivot off of those Flaherty and Rogers guys up top. And then for my GPP contest, I'm actually on the same page as Bales here. I kind of like Gallen tonight. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are going to be going that Flaherty Rogers. He might be a nice pivot to get some leverage. And then, I don't know, play sack could be a nice little pivot too to get some leverage off the top two guys that you guys touched on.
Yeah, there are some cheap guys that are interesting tonight. Bales, I agree with you. Gallen's going to be super low. Like he'll be 5% or less. So I'm cool with him in tournaments for sure. I'm a big fan of his as well. Only thing with him is just the walks have been up. So, it's going to drive the pitch count up pretty quickly. But he does have the strikeout upside. Manai, I think, is interesting. I don't think anyone will play him. The Rays are kind of like both the Rays and the A's are super similar lineups. Like they have a lot of power, but they have a lot of strikeouts too. They strike out a lot against lefties, so I think those guys are interesting in tournaments. Cheaper tier, I'm glad you brought up Shoemaker. I think he's fine if you want to pivot in tournaments to get some of these expensive stacks. And I was kind of looking at Fultonevich against Seattle for like a cheaper guy for tournaments. And then Charlie Morton at, what is he, 77 against Philly. Harper's back, but there are some strikeouts in that lineup. And Charlie Morton has looked pretty good to me this season. He kind of like, he looks like he's fully back to when he was pitching in Tampa. Like he looks pretty much the same to me watching him, and I don't mind using him in that matchup. So I like him. But Bales, is there anyone in the mid tier or cheaper you like at pitcher?
Yeah, I think you guys nailed it. If I'm dropping down, I think that it's probably Shoemaker for me. I do really like the matchup. I don't think Shoemaker's like a great pitcher or anything, but I don't think it really matters that much. I do think that you can probably add Wade Miley to the list of guys that you'll potentially use, even though, I don't know, he's not going to be high on my list. I just think that you can throw him in if you're playing a bunch of lineups. That's probably it. I mean, you touched on Morton. I think Peterson's relatively fine against Arizona. I don't expect that game to score a ton of runs. So, I would be targeting the pitchers much more than I'm going to be the bats.
I have a question for you guys. When it's a 14-game slate like this, do you think Flaherty and Rogers will still get all that ownership, or do you think it'll kind of be a little bit more spread out, specifically for more of the cash games?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think some of the bats will be spread out. I think pitcher tends to get pretty concentrated for cash games. Like I think it was last Friday. That was the slate we used Cole and Bieber. Cole was like 60, Bieber was like 30. These guys obviously aren't as expensive as those two, but I think Flaherty, people love to play Jack Flaherty anyways, and he gets a really good matchup. He's underpriced, so I think he'll definitely.
You just cut out.
Oh, my bad. Am I back now?
Yeah, you're good now. I was like, we lost Ben here.
Okay. Yeah. People love to play Flaherty anyways, and he's underpriced. So I think he'll definitely be over 50. Rogers, I haven't really checked projections or anything, but I'm sure he's probably projecting pretty well just because the Brewers strike out so much. So I'm assuming they'll probably both be at least over 35 to 40, I would guess.
Yeah. Has to.
I would agree. I think the only thing that might save them from getting like too out of hand is that one, I do think that people play Blake Snell tonight. I just think it's a good matchup. And two, there's like upwards of 10 teams that have an implied team total under 4 runs. So like on a normal slate, if you see Flaherty and the Rockies have a 3.1, or you see Rogers and Milwaukee has a 3, it's so easy to just plug them in and play them, especially because they're not overly expensive. But now you also have like 5 or 6, 7 other teams that are still under 4 runs. So it's not like you necessarily have to play them, which I don't think it makes them not chalky. I still think that they're going to get plenty of ownership, but I think it's going to be significantly less than on like a slate where there's only a couple pitchers that their opponent's total is at like 3.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When I said 35-40, I'm talking strictly like double ups. It'll probably be like it's gonna be lower in tournaments for sure. Like Morton, I could see Morton getting some ownership, man, just because he's so cheap. He'll project well. And like you said, Snell definitely will get some. I hope people play Snell because I'm not playing him, so that's fine if they want to play him today. We can move on. If you guys have questions on any other pitchers, go ahead and ask. We'll talk about some stacks here. There are some big team totals kicking off. So I'm on Bet Karma right here, live trends. You can pull this page up for free. Everyone that's watching, you got the Yankees at 5.3, Boston 5.1, Minnesota 5.3, then a bunch of other kind of like mid-4s, White Sox 5.2, Houston 5.3, Dodgers 5.3. So there's a lot of big team totals. Cardinals are up there as well, over 5. I think I'm not going to be able to play all these teams, right, on a 14-game site. You got to make some decisions, and you're going to have to fade some of these spots. Far and away, number one spot for me is the Twins. Hopefully that game plays. Scooble, I'm a big fan of. I think at one point in his career he's going to be good, but he's not good right now. And kind of him and Mize both, like they're just leaving these guys out there and letting them get lit up every 5 days, and they don't care. And the bullpen is so bad behind him, like it's just a win-win spot. And the Twins have been so bad the last couple of days. I'm hoping people go more towards like the Yankees or the Red Sox and leave those the Twins for me. But I love the Twins today, Bills.
Yeah, I think the Twins are also my favorite stack. Anytime that you can get a team with like a bad starting pitcher that they might leave in too long, and then you also get the worst bullpen, which means literally anytime you get a team against the Tigers,
Yeah, dude,
you generally can stack
they're
them.
like their barrel rate. I was like looking at barrel rate leaders for pitchers, and Scooble's up there like in terms of allowing barrels, and then other guys that are top 20. It's like three guys in the Tigers bullpen. Like they're just so bad.
It's crazy. I think the three top obvious options, I believe, are Minnesota, New York, and Boston. I think that's probably going to be basically what everyone thinks. So I do think there's a little bit of value in Houston. Just Stripling has not looked good whatsoever. Houston does have quite a bit of upside throughout that offense. And then a team that I'm interested in tonight is going to be the Texas Rangers, which I'm shocked I'm even saying it.
Wow.
I believe Chris Flexen is supposed to start tonight, but I don't think that they've announced it yet, unless I could just be looking at the wrong stuff. But I don't think that Flexen is nearly as good as he's been throwing. I think that Texas does have a lot of upside, especially near the top of their order. I think they have some home runs there, a little bit of speed. So I do think that the Rangers are literally going to get no ownership whatsoever. I believe they're in a very good spot, and I think that it's a really solid pivot off of like the clear-cut top offenses. Who are you looking at, Blake?
Yeah, so obviously the Twins, Boston, Yankees, those are the top three, but I have a little note here from the last time on the last slate that I said stack against Brad Keller. For whatever reason,
It's a good note.
he's not good. I have a note jamming the White Sox guys. I don't know, for whatever reason, it's just like a little inkling that I got. Yeah, so I'm going to be stacking the White Sox. Most importantly, like the Abreu's, the Andersons, the top studs there. And then also I have a little note here, the Cardinals. I got a little bit of interest on the Cardinals only because I don't know how you pronounce this guy's name. Gomber?
Austin Gomer. Yeah.
This guy. So he started off hot. I played a little bit of him, and he got shelled. So I'm like, all right, I'm going against this guy next time. So I kind of like Arnado and DeJong tonight a little bit too from the Cards. So yeah, outside of the Twins, Boston, and the Yanks, I have a little bit of interest in the White Sox and Cardinals tonight.
Yeah, so the Cardinals are actually my number 2 on this slate.
Okay.
I would probably rank it Twins, Cardinals, Yankees. I don't know. Red Sox are fine. I never go against Matt
Cardinals
Harvey.
ahead of the
Yeah,
of the Yankees.
Matt Harvey is fine. He's really good against righties, man. He just gets so many ground balls. It's frustrating to stack against him. Like you can obviously take lefties against him, which is fine. But every 5 days, people want to stack against Matt Harvey, right? Like it's no secret. So they're always high owned. Yankees, I have no problems with the Yankees, right? Like that's the Twins, Yankees, and Cardinals are my top 3. But I think the Yankees are going to be higher owned. Gomer sucks. He walks a lot of guys. And all the guys we like from St. Louis are right-handed. It's like just the perfect spot. So, yeah, I like the Cardinals a lot, honestly. And then some of them are cheap, man. Like Dylan Carlson's still cheap. And you can find some other cheaper guys. So I like the Cardinals a lot. But Bales, so you don't agree with my Cardinals over the Yankees?
Well, you're just talking like, yeah, if you want to say tournaments, okay, I get what you're saying. If you're just talking raw points, no, I think the Yankees, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, Corbin is like, I don't know, man. It's still just the Yankee. Yeah, he's definitely bad. But it's like, it's still the Yankees, though. Like, they still could just, like, Judge could go up there and strike out 5 times, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. So when they get high owned, that's when I tend to not want to play them as much. But, like, Stanton, like, yeah, I'll play Stanton in cash games. It's obvious to play him against just a bad lefty. But as terms of the full stack, I don't know. Like, look at these Twins guys, dude. 5K for Garver, 5K for Donaldson, 5K for Cruz, 5K for Polanco. is that full stack really going to be that high owned? Like, how are you playing all those 5K guys?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to see. I think the easiest way to do it is gonna be Shoemaker, a pitcher.
Yeah, or Morton for that matter, who's 77.
Yeah, like there's so many cheap pitching options. Even if you don't like them, like if you're not just specifically looking at the guys that we're discussing, there's still other options like Wade Miley, Peterson, Tayon. Plesac is only 84. They're all going to get some ownership, and like it's not going to be hard to fit in a high price stack if you're not spending up. And even when you are spending up, like who are you spending up on? Jack Flaherty, right? He's 9,400. It's not like you're playing Garrett Cole or anything. So I don't think it's going to be that difficult really to fit in a stack like that. I do get what you're saying, and I completely agree that in tournaments, like if you want to avoid the chalk Yankees and go with someone like St. Louis, I think it's a really good play. I just think like if you're just looking like at pure raw points, I can't imagine that St. Louis outscores the Yankees.
Yeah, Sean mentioned Plesac. I'm actually quietly hoping that he gets lit up tonight, so that like, cause I'm a big Plesac fan, so I hope he gets shelled tonight. So then his next start, like no one will be on him, so we can use him. That's what I'm hoping for. So maybe we should stack against him, and we'll just get the mojo of hopefully he gets blown up tonight.
Yeah, really. I
Cincy
did
on the road.
have a note here. I wanted to get your guys' opinion. I have no conviction one way or the other. I actually think Elfin is good, but I wrote a little note here. If they can get past him, their bullpen is terrible. What do you guys think about the Braves tonight?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, you can if you're gonna play the Braves though, like you said, if you're gonna play and hope they get into the bullpen, you can just full stack it. You don't need to worry about lefty righty, even though Eflin struggles with lefties. I'd feel better about it if Freeman had looked better, but I don't know. I'm always fine with Freeman at home. So
He's been really struggling, but I feel like this would be the time to get on him, get some leverage. Everybody's thinking like, oh, he sucks. He's struggling right now. I don't know. I feel like, again, it's just a hunch, but I don't know. I feel like he's going to pull through maybe tonight. I don't know.
I'm a big Eflin guy.
Bales is like a big Eflin. So like Bales likes Eflin and I like Plesac. Like these are our guys, right?
I think that Atlanta's fine though. Eflin is like legitimately not good on the road. It's actually pretty ridiculous how he throws in one of the most hitter-friendly stadiums and is absolutely lights out, then goes anywhere else and can't throw all of a sudden. But the other thing that Eflin does is he really limits his opponent's home runs. I think he's only given up like 3 on the entire season. So I get it. And if you're playing for like a bullpen game, I understand it, but you're going to have to more or less get Eflin out with a bunch of singles, I would guess. I feel like personally, I would just rather one-off someone like Freddie Freeman, but I do think that Atlanta's like relatively fine because if Eflin does get lit up and he only goes like 3-4 innings, you're in a really, really good spot after that.
Yeah, that was my game theory.
Yeah, the Braves are one of those teams you can stack pretty much any slate just because their lineup is so deep, even though they haven't been popping off recently. I mean, Albies, Acuna, Freeman, even like Swanson and Riley. Like, I'm pretty much fine with those guys on every slate, so I'm fine with it. But like, if you're gonna like, I don't think White Sox will be high owned. I would probably rather stack the White Sox than I would.
Yeah,
than I would the Braves.
already full stack in White Sox today, yeah. No doubt about it.
I think that's the same, and I think one of the big things with Eflin is that he's really he literally doesn't walk anyone ever. It's pretty crazy. So to get him out early, you're really gonna have to shell him because I think he's struggled in both road games this year, but I don't think he's thrown less than 6 innings in any of his games. I would have to double check that, but I mean, it just seems unlikely that he's the guy that's going to get pulled for the Philly bullpen. So I think that's kind of something that you need to look into too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a couple questions in chat here. One from Chris Lacey. Hicks versus lefty is nice for the Yankees. Yeah, see, the Yankees are more affordable to stack than the Twins. You can get, well, I think Sanchez is in there actually, so that doesn't help. But Hicks and Frazier are both really cheap. I like both of them. Like I would be fine mini stacking them. And thoughts on the Houston-Toronto game? Bales, you like Houston at all? I think I don't know. I actually kind of like the Toronto side just because Toronto's similar to the Braves for me, where they just have a really good lineup. So whenever they're going to be low owned, I am pretty comfortable playing them in tournaments.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool with that. I think personally, I just think Urquidy's a relatively good pitcher. So like when I have 14 games to choose from, and there are spots that I believe are going to go low owned where they have a significantly better matchup, it's just not really something I want to attack too much. I do think that Stripling, he's just looked awful. I don't trust him whatsoever. So I think that Houston side is fine. For what it's worth, Toronto does have a really, really good lineup. So like, I agree with Ben that you can always stack them. I just feel like on this large of a slate, like, why would I go there and stack a good offense versus a good pitcher when I can just get a good offense versus a bad pitcher that's in a significantly better spot, but is going to feature like similar ownership?
Yeah. Stripling's looked terrible except for when he pitches against the Braves in that Little League park in Florida. Then he's like all of a sudden really good. I don't know how that works, but all right, we'll run through some positional plays. If you guys have questions on pitchers or stacks, just ask. Starting at catcher, Bales, I think this might be a spend up at catcher night for me. Usually I don't do that, but I really like Mitch Garver. And I also think Carson Kelly is fine as well at his price. So I like those two expensive guys. There's the usual suspects for cheap, right? You have Danny Jansen. If he cracks the lineup, screwed me over yesterday because I didn't play him and he hit a home run.
First
home run. It was probably like his first hit. He was on like a 2 for 34 streak or something crazy.
Awful.
But
Yeah.
I remember Danny Jansen Sundays, but
yeah. Well, like when he first came up a couple years ago, he was pretty good, but I don't know, he's faded off. But
he's struggling.
yeah. Bales, where are you going at catcher?
I think Garver's the pretty clear cut one to me. I think if you look in the mid tier, Zach Collins sticks out hitting sixth against Keller. I do really like that. I think that Carson Kelly's fine if you want to spend up, but I prefer Garver myself. And then if you want to just completely drop down, Maldonado's 2K. I mean, it is what it is, but it's a solid matchup against Stripling. He's not a very good hitter, but like doesn't matter at 2,000.
Yeah, Sean, before I kick to you, Bales, do you think Garver? So I was looking at ownership right before we got in here. Obviously, it's not fully updated because it was 4:00 when I looked, but he was projecting to be one of the highest owned hitters on the DraftKings slate. Like, there's no way that happens, right? He's a 5K catcher. Is he really gonna be that high owned?
Hitters of anyone?
Yeah, he was like the third highest projected owned hitter. I was like, what? Like, no way, right?
Yeah, I assumed he would be one of the highest owned catchers because I don't think if you really want to, it's going to be difficult to get him into your lineups. But to be one of the highest owned hitters,
yeah, he was projecting around like 20% ownership. I was like, what? But
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
All right,
20%.
Sean, who do you like at catcher?
Yeah, I normally spend down a catcher. I think you guys nailed it. If I had the salary, I was going to go Garver, but I don't know if he's 20%. Maybe Gary Sanchez has been bad. But
Gary Sanchez is terrible. My God, he's bad.
Yeah, he's been very bad. Or I don't know if I'm on the Sox tonight. I might be on McCain. But yeah, Jansen, if he cracks the lineup, Maldonado. Is that how you say his name? Maldonado?
Yeah.
He's stoned, man. He's terrible too. But yeah, those are probably the three options.
He's actually probably better than Gary Sanchez because you could actually, like use him. Like defensively, whereas Gary Sanchez is just so bad. Like he can't do anything. I don't know. It's crazy.
I think Boone is slowly realizing.
Well, they're screwed because they paid him a bunch of money. Like there's nothing they can do with him. Terrible. But
yeah.
All right, first base. I'm sorry. I'm just ragging on Gary Sanchez. I don't know why I'm fired up about
Gary Sanchez Day.
But I'm sure he'll hit like 2 home runs tonight just because I was mad at him. But first base, I like Sano for cheap here, 3,300. I mean, assuming he's in the lineup, that's pretty cheap. But he's also been pretty bad this year, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that Sano is like a lock and load play. Who I do think a lock and load play in tournaments is Ohtani because I don't know, DraftKings just keeps not pricing him at 5K. Like he should honestly probably be 5,500, and he's 4,500, and I think it's because whenever he pitches, he like gets like a 0, right, for like his hitting stats, and
Yeah.
I think it messes. I don't know. It like messes something up when they price him. So he's just always mid 4s, and anytime he's against like any right-handed pitcher, I would play him against Garrett Cole, honestly, in tournaments. So I like Ohtani, I like Sano, and then if you're spending up, Freeman I think is fine, as well as Goldschmidt.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's two guys. Well, I'll add DJ LeMahieu. I'm sure we're going to talk about him at second base. But there's two guys that I feel like are just ridiculously priced as well. Nate Lowe at 4,200. It's kind of like free points. That dude is so consistent and does have a ceiling.
Free points. Do you hear this? He's just
Mark it
handing out.
down.
He's just handing out free points.
Nate
Nate
Lowe. Let's
Free
look
points.
this up. How many games has he scored fantasy points in? 10 straight at minimum. I just quick pulled that up on DraftKings. No, but I also think that Marlon Gonzalez at 35, that's pretty ridiculous leading off for Boston. I don't know. Those two prices are just really, really bad in my opinion.
Yep, Sean, what are you looking at first?
Yeah, you guys aren't leaving me much here. I do kind of like that Nate Lowe call. I'm kind of looking at his box score now. He has been putting up some points. I feel like that salary is pretty solid. Sano was my kind of asterisk guy that I have down, but I also like Freeman, Goldie for tournaments. I kind of like going off your Arizona catcher call. I kind of like Christian Walker a little bit from the Diamondbacks, and then I touched base on him a little bit. Abreu, I feel like he's gonna have a good night tonight.
All right,
well, Ben.
What?
Take a guess. How many consecutive games Nate Lowe has scored fantasy points in?
Okay, before I guess that,
Don't
like,
feel
if he's
bad.
scoring like 3 points a game, like, okay, like that's.
Well, I mean,
fine,
he's
I
not.
guess.
He's
Yeah,
averaging like
he's not
slightly
Aaron
under
Judge. He's
10
not
on
getting
the
you a
season.
0, huh? Yeah. I
He's
don't know. 14. That's my guess.
18, 22 of his last 23.
Yeah. Consistent. Get you that walk. Get you that 2 points, baby. No, I'm just kidding.
Every single game.
No, I like Nate Lowe. I'm
man.
just messing. I was just laughing because he said 3 points. But all right, second base. Sean, I'll start with you first here because we've kind of been taking everybody. So who do you like at second base today?
Well, I think Bales kind of already said him, but DJ LeMahieu, I think he'll probably be a really solid option tonight. I kind of like Madrigal a little bit too. Obviously, I'm sticking with the White Sox theme here, but I think he'll be solid. And I think you kind of talked me off him a little bit, Bales. I had Albies down, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go against your boy Elfin tonight.
Yeah, Bales, how about you?
Yeah, and I actually think that Albies is fine in tournaments. No, I think the two obvious options are going to be DJ LeMahieu, and then I think Marlon Gonzalez, depending on where your price point is. I think Tommy Edman, Cesar Hernandez, both completely fine too. And then Madrigal is a guy that I absolutely love tonight, but I was expecting him to hit second, and he's hitting ninth, which kind of really brings it down for me. At 3K, I don't have any issues playing him. He has plenty of speed, decent pop. So I'm fine with him. I just feel like there's so many guys, and especially guys that are cheap, that are more or less leading off. So I probably would lean towards one of them.
Yeah. You guys nailed it. I think Edman's really good. LeMahieu, obviously, fine. I'm probably going to be saving at second in cash. So I think Madrigal and Nick Senzel. Nick Senzel's leading off. I think both those guys are fine for cash games for cheap. But move on to third base.
Your boy Hodar's not playing tonight.
I know. I can't. Dude, it sucks. Normally for like a week straight, I would just say Rougned Odor at second base and move on. But I can no longer do that.
Lock. Icy lock of the day.
He did hit a home run one time for me. So it kind of like he was kind of bad for two games, and then he hit that home run. And it's like, man, I got to keep going back to it,
Yeah, he strings you along. That's what he does.
He does, man. God, I hate those guys. All right, third base. Bales, I'll let you start here.
I want to preface it by saying literally everything in me says Josh Donaldson tonight.
Let's go,
But
baby. Let's go.
I can't imagine playing Donaldson over Devers. So I am sticking real strong with Devers here. I think there are some other options that are completely fine. If you want to go like super cheap, Andor's back in the lineup. He's only hitting 8th, but he's 2,600. So really, who cares? Honestly, though, it just feels like you're kind of picking between Donaldson and Devers. I don't know if either of you, I mean, I guess like Nolan Arenado, I would assume one of you guys is going to talk about him, but who else are you guys looking at? Because this seems kind of like only a 2-player race for me.
Yeah, Sean, you can go ahead. I don't want to steal everyone here from you.
Yeah, I think it might be an easy choice for you tonight, Bales, because the weather in Baltimore is kind of crappy right now. But yeah, Donaldson would probably be my number one if the weather cancels that Boston game. Obviously, I'm on the Cards tonight, so Arenado, Moncada for the White Sox. I think Gio Urshela probably is going to pick up some ownership with the Yankees. And that's pretty much the guys. Maybe in tournaments, I might get Austin Riley in there too.
Yeah, Urshela is out of the lineup, so that's when they put Andor in. Andor might get kind of chalky, man, at 2,600 Yankee exposure. I could see that happening. You guys pretty much nailed it. I really like Donaldson. I would add Moustakas in, just because he's really good against righties and he's super cheap, under 4K. So you could one off him or little mini stack with Senzo. I would be fine with that. Shortstop, man, I don't know what to do with shortstop today. I think I'm gonna have to punt shortstop again today. Sean, you can start out shortstop here.
Yeah, shortstop's gonna be tough. Bales, you wrote up one of my guys that I kind of like from the Orioles. I don't know how to say his last name, but Pat Valaika.
Oh yeah,
he's like cheap. I don't think the game's going to play tonight, but if he plays, I feel like he's like a nice salary relief option. He's one of those guys that's like he plays a couple different positions, so he might allow you to spend up other places. But him, Torres, DeJong from the Cards, but he's expensive. Anderson's expensive from the White Sox. So outside of the stacks, I don't know. I might just punt it at shortstop tonight.
Yeah, Bales.
Yeah, I more or less agree. I think I don't know. I wrote my art in the breakdown that's on the site that I don't like the position. I don't like. I know there's a lot of expensive guys, but there's really no one that I really want to play. I think Gleyber Torres is completely fine. Like Blake said, I think that you have a few guys like DeJong's fine. Pat Valaika is probably going to be my top option too. I hate playing guys at the bottom of the lineup, but like he's so cheap, and I really don't like anyone at shortstop. So probably I don't know. I don't want to eat chalk on Gleyber Torres. Like if Torres wasn't owned, I would. That's the guy that I'm playing. But like he's not good enough that I really want to play him if he's the highest owned shortstop on the slate. Someone asked this: doesn't Boston have? They said a 70% chance not to play. From what I read, they said they could push it back and play. It just depends on whether they actually want to or not. And the way that the MLB has been going this season, it feels like they prefer double headers versus, trying to push back and play games that night. So I would guess it probably has a pretty high percentage chance of not playing, probably at least like 60-40. But, I'm not a weatherman and we're still hours out. So I really won't look too much into games that are going to get canceled until about 6 o'clock because it could just change at literally any point in time.
Yeah, you guys covered shortstop pretty well. I'd add in this guy Dubone at the bottom, dude. 2K. I know Snell is super good, but I literally might need someone that's 2K today at shortstop, and there's no one else. So Dubone, he's actually not been super bad over the last couple games. He's got some speed, had a steal in his last game. I think you could run on Blake Snell if you get on base. So I might be scraping the bottom of the barrel tonight, Bales. People might be confused when they see my core plays. They see Dubone in there, but it might happen.
I don't hate it. I legit don't hate it.
If it lets me get the lineup I want, it might need to be done. We'll see.
Well, especially if you're paying up for catcher too.
Yeah, I know, man. That 5K for Garver really hurts because normally you can just jam in some loser that's 2K at catcher. But all right, we'll finish up with outfield here. Obviously, there's tons of options. Like we could talk about, the Nelson Cruz, Stanton, Acuna, Bryce Harper. Like those guys are fine. Mike Trout, obviously every slate. So we're not gonna spend a ton of time there.
Yeah, we ran bad with him, didn't we?
Oh
Man,
yeah,
hit,
yeah.
walk,
Dude, no.
6
Fail.
like that.
So
the
you don't even know. So the other night, Bales, I don't even think I messaged you about this, but so the other night, because I was talking to Sam and Rube about it. So the other night had a pretty good core. My 2v2 before lock was Mitch Garver and Giancarlo Stanton, or Sean Murphy and Mike Trout. So that was my 2v2. So I was like, man, Mike Trout, no one's gonna play him. I'm playing Mike Trout. So
6% owned.
yeah, he was low owned. Of course, Mitch Garver and Stanton both homer before Mike Trout has ever even started his game.
Yeah, Stanton picked up a 30 burger.
Yeah, but I went back and looked. It was fine because we won decently fine, but I'm pretty sure I would have won like every contest I was in with that other 2v2. So it was yeah,
Dude, that's
it was
the
just
worst.
so frustrating. But yeah, you could play those guys every time. So more of like the mid tier guys. Like I really like Frambo Reyes again. I think you can use him against the lefty pretty much every time. 4,400. I like that price tag. There's some other cheaper guys. So Sean, I'll kick to you here first. Who do you like at outfield today?
Yeah, obviously, I think Stanton might be a lock tonight. I know we already talked about the top guys, Stanton, Judge, but if Boston plays, I do like their outfield, JD, Verdugo. I don't know. Bales might have talked to me on the Rangers a little bit. We got some. I mean, Joey Gallo owes me money the amount of times that I've played him, and how many strikeouts is he leading the league in strikeouts? It has to be. He's either hitting the home run or striking out. But I don't know. Maybe Willie Calhoun. You guys can probably talk me on a little bit more of the mid-tier outfielders here.
Yeah. Bales, before I kick it to you, cheaper guys. Carlson is super cheap. I like him. Jordan Luplow's back in the lineup. He's 3,600. You could mini stack him and Reyes. I think that would be fine. For some reason, they weren't playing Luplow there for like a couple games. But, I mean, if you look at just ISO against lefties since the start of 2019, Jordan Luplow is third in baseball, which is just hilarious. But
I like it. I think there's just like a bunch of guys that are super cheap. Kyle Garlick, I'm guessing he would play against a left-handed pitcher.
That guy's
2,600.
terrible, but 2,600, man, you might have to do it. That guy's so bad.
Aaron Hicks. I mean, Clint Frazier's 3K. I don't think I would play them over like Luplow or anything, but I mean, there's a bunch of options. And then, I mean, if you just want guys, any of the 4 starting Rangers. Calhoun's leading off. Gallo and Garcia are hitting 4th and 5th, and then Dahl's hitting 6th. Any of those 4 for their prices, I think make good plays. If I'm stacking, David Dahl, I feel like it's pretty obvious, but David Dahl is the one that's going to miss the cut for me. I don't know. Just I feel like the more that I talk about it, the more I'm on the Rangers tonight.
Yeah, I like Gallo. He was pink in Final Thoughts yesterday. Just had been getting super unlucky, so I'm completely fine playing Joey Gallo for sure. Can you guys answer why do the Twins think this Kyle Garlick character is good? Like what is going on there? I mean, if you look back, like 2019, he was good against lefties. I don't know, since the start of 2020, really, really bad, really bad. So I don't know what's the deal with Kyle Garlick, Bills. I don't know.
Young kid that hits lefties. I would just guess it. That's what they're.
I don't think he's young. I think he's kind of old. I don't think he's super young.
I think he's what, higher 20s now.
Yeah, I mean not old, but like he's probably mid to late 20s.
Yeah, 29.
If he's older than me, he's old because like I'm at the point where like I'm at the point where some of these guys come up and it's like they're 20 and I'm like, dude, this is unbelievable. So if you're older than me, I'm considering you old in daily.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 25. Me and Bales are both 25. So.
I'm just show some respect to your elders, my friend. I'm 26.
Oh, okay. Bales is old.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's talking about me.
I'm not even gonna tell you how old I am, man.
Oh,
Shoot,
you
might
can't.
think
You
I'm-
can't be older than AC, man. AC is like practically a grandpa at this point. So
How old is AC?
I don't know. He's got to be mid 30s. I'd
He's
say.
like 35.
Ah, yeah.
I'm mid.
Yeah. AC is ancient, man. I mean, you could just tell by the way he talks. Some of the phrases he uses.
By his
Crazy.
technology use.
Yeah, it definitely is technology use. That's 100% accurate. But all right, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any other questions, we will be in Discord. Check out all of our free content, dfskarma.com. Before we end the stream, though, I need a home run call from both of you. Sean, since you are the making your debut here on the stream, I will allow you the honors of first home run call.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, guys, for allowing me to come on here. It's my first pod. I appreciate it. But I think my home run call is going to be Yordan Alvarez. I know that he just erupted last night, but I didn't realize this dude is like 6'6". He's a specimen.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's just a monster. And like if he gets if he touches the ball, it just flies. He's healthy now. He's had 2 off-season. I think he had double knee replacement last year. So he wasn't really healthy last year. I think he's healthy this year. I don't know. Yordan Alvarez is my home run call tonight.
I don't mind that at all. And I like that you went a little bit off the board. Like you didn't come on and you're like, yeah, Mike Trout is my home run call.
Oh, Jimmy Stanton.
I like that. Yeah, see, I like that. Bales, give me yours.
I'll go slightly deeper off the board here. I'm gonna go Harrison Bader.
Wow. Yeah, that's off the board.
Oh man, I think I had enough to play him. Oh no, Bales, why did you do that? Now I gotta decide if I have to play him because you just did that.
Who are you looking between?
Well, I had this loser Garlic in there, but now I could play Bader.
All right, take Garlic out. Get Bader in. As Garlic hits 3 homers tonight.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Bale.
That just ruined everything. No, I like that one too. I'm gonna take the easy way out and take Josh Donaldson because he's gonna hit multiple home runs today if that game plays.
So you're going Donaldson for multiple?
Yeah, Donaldson for multiples, and then Bader and Yordan Alvarez. I like those calls a lot. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, we'll be in Discord if you guys have any other questions. Our Discord's free to get in. You won't have access to the premium channels, but you can still get in. There's a banner on the top, dfskarma.com. That being said, good luck tonight. We will see you guys on Monday.